Live in the human paradise. Breathe the pure air of heaven. Longevity, vitality, and a lifetime of bliss.
住在人间小天堂，呼吸天堂纯气，延寿长生，幸福一生。
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're tackling, well, a really fascinating set of ideas from our source materials. It's all about microscopic particles, aerosols, and this sort of ultimate quest for pure air.
That's right. We're drawing heavily from a text called Even Heaven Contains Aerosols. Intriguing title.
It really is. So
Yeah.
our mission today, first, understand why aerosols seem to be, an unavoidable part of life itself based on biology and physics.
And then pivot from that inevitability to examine a pretty bold scientific claim we found in the sources, the idea of achieving super heaven air quality right here on Earth.
Yeah, it kicks off with this philosophical angle from Master's Insight, #253. And the hook is, well, it's quite surprising. It suggests that if heaven exists and has life, metabolism, energy...
Then it must have aerosols too.
Exactly, which kind of makes the idea of zero aerosols sound, well, almost unnatural for any living place.
It reframes the goal, doesn't it? Maybe it's not about eliminating all particles, but about what those particles actually are. A totally sterile, empty gas environment just doesn't sound like life.
Okay, let's unpack this idea of inevitability, starting with the biology. The sources argue if you have life, you get aerosols. What are the key biological processes they point to?
Well, the sources are pretty clear on the biological principle.
Yeah.
Life inherently creates particles. Every metabolic process, big or small, generates these tiny things suspended between gas and liquid. Think about basic functions.
Like breathing, secretions, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Breathing, cellular decay, even plants transpiring, they all release stuff.
Can you give us a couple of solid examples from the text?
Sure. So animal respiration. When we exhale, it's not just CO2. We release tiny water droplets, organic bits, microdroplets carrying traces of cells and things.
Okay.
And plants are huge contributors.
Okay.
The sources mention transpiration plants releasing volatile organic compounds, VOCs like isoprene, terpenes.
The stuff that gives forests that smell.
Precisely. And those compounds condense in the air, forming natural aerosols. It's not just industrial pollution we're talking about.
And even the ground plays a role.
Oh, absolutely. Soil, microbes. They're constantly releasing gases, ammonia, hydrogen sulfide. These react with air moisture, form fine particles.
Yeah.
It shows aerosols are baked into the whole ecosystem.
Right. Okay, so biology makes aerosols. That sets up the physical argument, which feels even more fundamental.
It is. It involves the second law of thermodynamics.
The idea that wherever you have motion or heat differences or friction, these mixed phase boundaries form between gas and liquid.
And that's where the magic, or rather the physics, happens. Atomization, the creation of these particles, occurs when surface tension breaks.
Give us a simple visual for that.
Think of steam hitting cold air, or condensation on a glass. That interface, that boundary where gas and liquid meet and energy is flowing.
That's the spot.
That's where atomization happens constantly. Even a leaf evaporating water or a raindrop hitting the ground, it's all creating aerosols.
So the crucial point here is that aerosols are basically evidence of change, of circulation.
You got it. The second law dictates energy flows, entropy increases, things move towards disorder, essentially. As long as any place, even a theoretical heaven, follows these basic physical laws.
It has to have this gas-liquid exchange.
And therefore aerosols. They're an inevitable result of life and energy just doing their thing, unavoidable.
Okay, so if physics says aerosols must exist, even in heaven, then the game changes. It's not about getting rid of them, it's about their composition. What do the sources say these heaven-level aerosols are actually like?
Right, this is the key distinction the source material makes. The essence of the particles is different, even if particles themselves are present. Heaven's aerosols are described as totally benign. Meaning no toxins, no heavy metals, no mutagenic compounds. Nothing that harms life.
So what are they made of then? What's in this pure air's aerosol mix?
The description is very specific. Ultra-pure water microdroplets, beneficial natural organic molecules, think terpenes, floral scents from healthy plants, and importantly, trace clusters of negative ions and oxygen.
Ah, okay. So they're like carriers, a medium for life.
Exactly. A pure, recyclable, non-toxic, gaseous medium, necessary for transport at a microscopic level, but entirely harmless.
That makes sense. The problem on Earth isn't the particle itself, it's the nasty stuff riding on it.
Yes. But interestingly, even when discussing this ideal purity, the source adds a little caveat. almost reinforcing the physics.
Oh, what's that?
It suggests that even in heaven, a tiny, tiny trace amount of, let's call them less pure aerosols, might still exist. A natural remainder.
Your remainder, why?
As the absolute minimum byproduct of energy and matter exchange. The irreducible cost of the second law. It's like saying you can get incredibly close to 100% purity, but maybe not absolute zero impact. It acknowledges that slight imperfection is inherent.
Wow, okay. That natural remainder idea sets a really high bar. It basically says perfect natural purity is impossible. So the revelation for us here on Earth
Is that since we need those basic water vapor aerosols for breathable air, the human challenge becomes incredibly sophisticated filtration. We need to tackle both artificial pollution and potentially try to beat even that tiny natural remainder of harmful stuff.
And this is where the tech comes in. The source introduces the Air 8-free maze purification system. This is presented as humanity's shot at solving this puzzle.
Precisely. It claims to reach a level of purification that removes all the toxic stuff, all the contaminants, while specifically letting those necessary pure water vapor aerosols pass through.
Selective filtration. That sounds key. Not just trapping everything. The source mentions a 5-stage labyrinth design. That sounds complex. What are those stages doing?
It's all about maximizing the time the air spends being treated, forcing it through these 5 distinct layers.
Okay, walk us through them. Stage 1.
First, you've got your robust initial filters, primary and HEPA. These catch the bigger things: dust, germs, larger microplastics. Standard stuff, but heavy duty.
Got it. Stage 2.
Stage 2 is a catalytic conversion chamber. This targets gaseous pollutants, VOCs like formaldehyde, benzene. It breaks them down chemically into harmless substances.
Okay, so physical and chemical. What's third?
Third is heavy metal and ion adsorption. Uses special materials to grab onto and strip out those really nasty heavy metal particles that are notoriously hard to filter.
Right, stage 4.
Stage 4 uses UVC light for sterilization, killing any remaining germs, viruses. And crucially, it includes a negative ion generator. This charges the remaining good microdroplets.
Charging them. Why is that important?
Because it sets up the final stage, number 5, the ultrafine particle coalescence filter. This is where the selectivity really happens.
How?
Because the necessary water droplets are now slightly charged, the system can supposedly guide or pull the remaining uncharged toxic ultrafine particles out of the airflow. It lets the good charged water aerosols pass through while capturing the last bits of bad aerosols.
Huh. That's quite a detailed process. It makes the claim of selectivity sound more plausible than just saying it filters everything. It's targeting toxicity.
Right, and this whole process is what allows the system to claim it achieves the 8-free standard. That's their definition of super heaven air quality.
The 8-free standard. This is the benchmark they're claiming. We need to list these out precisely. According to the source, the air coming out is simultaneously.
Okay, this is the list that essentially claims to beat physics' natural remainder. Go for it.
1. Dust-free. 2. Germ-free. 3. Toxin-free. 4. Smoke-free. 5. Odor-free. 6. Heavy metal-free. 7. Microplastic-free. And the big one, number 8. Aerosol-free.
Okay, wait, let's pause on number 8, aerosol-free. We just spent the first part establishing aerosols are inevitable with life and physics. How can they claim aerosol-free? Is that just marketing?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If the physics holds, aerosol-free must be some kind of redefinition.
And the source does try to address that. It argues that while the necessary water vapor microdroplets are still there, the ones vital for breathing, they've been completely stripped of any toxic payload.
Oh, I see.
So they're saying these remaining particles are no longer classified as polluting aerosols. By removing the harm, they claim they've removed the aerosol in the negative sense. It's a semantic pivot based on quality, not quantity.
Freedom from the toxic definition of an aerosol. Okay. What about some of the others on that list, like heavy metal-free and microplastic-free together? How hard is that, realistically?
Extremely hard. Heavy metals need those specialized adsorption stages. And microplastics. No, that's the modern nightmare, isn't it? They range from visible bits down to nanoscale. Getting truly microplastic-free needs incredibly fine filtration, almost molecular-level stuff. The source implies that 5-stage maze is absolutely necessary for that kind of range.
So, assuming the system can achieve all 8, if it overcomes that natural remainder problem, what's the big payoff, the source claims, beyond just nice air to breathe?
This is where it gets really ambitious. The claim isn't just about comfort or alleviating allergies. It's positioned as something that could fundamentally change human health outcomes.
It talks about breaking the human lifespan barrier. That's huge. How does pure air connect to living longer, according to the source? Is it just about lungs?
It's deeper than that. The argument is that our bodies, every cell, every system, are constantly battling low-level inflammation and damage caused by inhaled microtoxins and pollutants.
Okay.
If you eliminate those 7 major toxic loads, the dust, germs, toxins, metals, plastics, etc., you dramatically lighten the body's detoxification burden. You reduce that constant low-grade inflammatory stress.
So it's about reducing chronic cellular stress.
Exactly. The idea is if every breath delivers only pure, oxygen-rich, negatively charged, non-mutagenic media, the body can redirect energy from constantly fighting invaders to maintenance and repair. So the tech isn't just an air cleaner. It's framed as a tool for systemic health, potentially slowing down age-related damage, hence unlocking the lifespan barrier.
Right. We've covered a lot from philosophical questions about heaven's air to the hard physics of inevitability, and finally this really advanced tech claim trying to, well, beat the system.
And the source material really lands on this dichotomy. Fresh air is nature's gift, sure, but pure, truly toxin-free air. That's presented as the triumph of science. It implies we can work within the second law, but still sidestep its worst toxic side effects.
Which leaves us, and you, with a final thought to chew on. If that natural remainder of toxic aerosols is a real physical consequence of energy doing its thing, and the science claims complete aerosol-free, in the toxic sense, how sure can we be?
Has human ingenuity truly filtered out every last trace that physics says should be there? Or have we just made the remainder so vanishingly small we can redefine it away?
That tension between the ideal of perfect purity and the messy reality of physics.
That's the core question, isn't it?
That's what we'll leave you with. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
Air 8-free maze purifier. The world's first single-pass purifier. Combining ionization, electrostatics, and airflow maze. The machine replaces humans. To absorb and destroy every toxin, air enters the ion zone. Viruses and dust gain negative charge. They pass electrostatic filters. Then enter the toxbox maze. Aerosols dry on electrode walls, breaking down into CO2 and water. Inside the maze, air twists and strikes over 60 times. Each turn ends a toxin's life. Billions of particles in 0.1 second are fully purified. It releases Earth's purest air. The superheaven air quality. 8-free, dust-free, germ-free, toxin-free. Smoke-free, odor-free, heavy metal-free. Microplastic-free, aerosol-free. Not just an air machine. The only key to lifespan freedom. U.S. Patent No. 8268058B2.